all blocked out. They got it all blocked out. They got it all blocked out. If I sit in that shit, if the bitch is in that shit, every motherfucking exit, you
Welcome to the Dumbfounded Dipshits podcast. Welcome to the Dumbfounded Dipshits podcast. Welcome to the Dumbfounded Dipshits podcast. Welcome to Dumbfounded Dipshits podcast. Welcome to the Dumbfounded Dipshits podcast. Welcome to the Dumbfounded Dipshits podcast. Welcome to the Dumbfounded Dipshits podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. And now, for those in attendance and the dipshits watching out there in comment land, this is Mike.
Hola.
And I'm Ryan, and we are your dipshits of the evening. So what's up today, Mike? A lot of shit going on in the world. Shit is crazy.
Right before we even touch on the whole crazy world, I was listening to David Smith's podcast. What's it called? Have you listened to his podcast?
Part of the problem. Part of the problem. The libertarian podcast. Yeah.
Yes. He's okay.
He's very political.
I share similar beliefs, but I think he's a fucking idiot.
I mean, I like the way he debates. He's pretty fucking, he's quite the contrarian.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Anyway,
his comedy's funny.
I'm using a vaporizer today for my cannabis flower.
It's been a sad week for potheads. Have you heard the news?
So I guess we'll go right into that. That's not it. That's something else. Where? It'd be great having everything ready, like in order. But I forget which link it is. I think it's this one.
I just sent you a slew of shit. Like I just vomit.
I have everything open on the sides somewhere, but it's a matter of finding where.
But so he's giving up the smoke.
What? It says, "Please respect my privacy at this time." He didn't really say.
He just doesn't want to be harassed, and I get that. I understand, because people are going to be like, what the fuck? You're going to get a lot of people who are emotional over this. I got a little emotional until I realized something.
He said something very specific. He said,
what did he say, Mike?
I decided to give up smoke.
And what could that mean?
He probably quit smoking blunts because he was smoking 80-something blunts a day, he said.
Yeah, and it's like, imagine you're smoking a cigar. I mean, we did that, and we had to give that shit up. Like
Willie Nelson gave up smoking joints because it was fucking up his voice.
But
and
he didn't
now
say
vaporizers.
But he didn't say giving up cannabis.
And then another hip hopper, was it Meek Mills or one of them?
A whole bunch of people followed suit. We're like, all right,
he came out and he said he has emphysema, so he has to quit. And I'm like, you probably have emphysema from the blunts.
The frequency. Like, you got to understand, if you're loaded and you have, you got a driver, right?
Bless you.
And you got a blunt roller who's with you all the time.
A blunt roller that makes $40K a year.
Yeah. And how often are you smoking for that $40K a year blunt roller to fucking be rolling? He's got to be rolling blunts all day long. There's shifts. Shifts. They're in blunt rolling shifts. Probably like a couple hours straight, just rolling blunt after blunt after blunt.
See, exactly. I knew it. Right here. This comment right here.
Blunts are harsh.
Look,
blunts are harsh as fuck.
Right here. Look at this comment right there.
Oh shit. That's genius. He's smart. He's smart. Listen, he's smart. Obviously, the smoke didn't get to him. You know what I mean? If he's making
just get one of these vaporizers.
Creative
you're not just smoking weed. You're just vaporizing it. It's delicious. By the way, this is supposedly diamond infused.
Now, okay, is it safe to smoke diamonds? Isn't that like smoking like super special rocks?
No, not that kind. Wow, I am not smoking rocks, Ryan.
That sounds like a woolly. Sounds like a woolly to me, Mike. That's what that sounds like. Is that a Christmas tree blunt? You remember those?
Yes. Oh man. I remember someone made the airplane, and then it like set on fire instead of burning evenly, and it was just a disaster. Anyway,
like the 3-corner shit, right? Like
yes, yeah,
those never really made it evenly. One side always burned quicker, or like the middle would canoe or some shit like that. But they were fun and novel to have. Like when somebody showed up to a party with one of those things, you were like, oh, how thoughtful. You know what I mean? It's like somebody bringing flowers to the fucking.
I think I know who. Speaking of which, I think I know who Dipshit of the Week is.
Wait. Are we jumping into that yet? Or we're not saying Snoop is the Dipshit of the Week? I think it's a genius idea. That is fucking genius if you're launching an edible.
No, I don't think. We're not doing Dipshit yet, but I'm.
That's almost as edible genius as Mike Tyson with the ears. With the little piece missing.
That's incredible. Yes.
I'm gonna get me some of the. I'm gonna be in Vegas in a couple of weeks. I'm getting me some of those motherfuckers. I'm hunting those down.
So I think I have some of the nominee for Dipshit, but I'm not gonna nominate the Dipshit of the Week until later on.
Okay.
So did you see what happened in New York City the other day?
I recently took the subway only one way from Manhattan into Brooklyn.
It was probably fucking horrible, wasn't it?
Last week, it was just the same miserable shit as it always was. But it was like nobody was making eye contact. It was just everything as it was. And I know the etiquette. And I was able to hop into a seat once a whole bunch of people got off.
You grew up and rode the subway forever. It's just because you live in Florida for a couple of years doesn't mean you forget how the fucking subways are.
Yeah.
Well, this happened the other day in the subway, and it's quite terrifying, actually.
Did this shit get viral?
Go! Watch out! Go! It's coming! Fuck out of here!
Yo, they all freaked. Yo, you know, the thing is, subway motherfuckers are not laughing. They are not laughing. You fucked their ride up.
I'm surprised nobody pulled out a gat or something. Was like, what the fuck's going on?
I'm surprised the Gorilla Suit guy didn't get clotheslined by just somebody that just said, nah, motherfucker. Because I would have recognized real quick that's just a guy in a suit. I wouldn't have clotheslined him. I might have laughed in the corner, but I would have already been sitting, and I used to not let shit like that faze me. People would get wild, and I would just be like, you know, you watch people fighting their way out the door or whatever. One dude like shoved another guy. They both started throwing fists as the door was closing. Like they both knew that I'm not getting off the train and I'm not getting on the train.
So I found an actual article about this, the Snoop thing. Let's see if there's anything here.
Is this a conspiracy? Are we reacting or is this a conspiracy?
It's not really a conspiracy. I just want to see what the article says. On Thursday, November 16th, a veteran rapper and weed connoisseur took to Instagram to announce he's given up smoke. Uncle Snoop posted a graphic with a brief statement about the matter, saying, after much consideration and conversation with my family, I decided to give up smoke. Please respect my privacy at this time. There wasn't much context. See, there's no context. I'm giving up smoke. It could be anything.
So it could be just do it for him, right? Right? This could be his tagline. Well, if you're going to give up smoke, I got these bomb edibles. You know, if you don't want to give up cannabis.
Smart marketing. Like, he talked shit about Eminem right before his album came out, and then they did a joint song together.
Dude, listen, Rat Beef is some of the best publicity ever. You know what I mean? As far as, like, what it did. Like, some people just got famous, you know, based on those merits. Just beefing with other big rappers. Oh, this is hilarious. This is mad funny.
Where's Afro Samurai? Where's the sound? There's no sound.
Ooh, he's snitching. Everybody, he's snitching. Hey, dude, get back.
Yo, if that were me, I'd be pissed too. I'd be pissed if that were out in the street. But it is like Super Troopers. That's just the first thing that's what I was like. There's like real life Super Troopers. That was mad funny.
Ooh, he's snitching. Everybody, he's snitching. Hey, dude, get back.
I like how he charges at the cop. Like, that's gonna make
it's gonna make it any fucking better. Like, I would have been like, I would have been probably hung my head like, oh, could it get any worse? You know what I mean?
Where'd it go? I hate
Well,
when
maybe he
X-rays
was.
out by
Maybe he
accident.
was snitching. Maybe he was snitching. You know, and he's just calling them out on it. I mean, should snitches be called out? I mean, debate. What's the debate? What do you think? Do you think if the kid was snitching, he should have been called out?
Snitches get stitches.
I just went through the Taco Bell drive-thru.
If I'm being honest, society uses that word quite loosely nowadays. So
Wait. How did it start? We gotta refresh that. Let's see.
Taco Bell drive-thru. That's all I caught.
Why is she loading? Let's go. Volume.
Dude, he was like 6'6", and he was a bully. The way Tate handled it, like he.
This is not. It's not the video.
The algorithm is pulling you in another direction, Mike.
Yeah, right. You see, and I can't go back either. It won't even let me go back.
Wow, what happened?
I don't know.
What happened?
That was so weird.
Did Skynet just shut you down? Like what?
I don't know, but I'll show you. Hopefully, this works now because that'd be a little weird if it doesn't work. But this is what Facebook just did to me. This is what Facebook just did to me.
Perché con l'uno sente l'acqua salata, sente l'acqua normale, viene fuori, no? Vai, bagna ancora un pochino. Non è che fra un po' si muovere la terra un pochino.
This is literally what Facebook just did to me.
Is it a crab? What the fuck is that?
Perché viene fuori da solo. Vai, che viene fuori. Vai.
Yep. That's what Facebook just did to me. I had a video ready to go and it refreshed and got rid of it.
You know what's funny? I recently have come off my 1 year hiatus of going on Facebook. I scrolled for the first time on Facebook in a year. It was a year ago. It was the last time I was on. You know how many notifications?
Probably like 4,000. What's up, Lucky Schmitz? FYI, I didn't say hello before.
And fucking, it was like, all right. You know what I did notice after being off of it for a year? It got a little less political.
No, it didn't. It's your algorithm hasn't been updated yet.
But
hold on.
You're right.
You ready for this? This is appropriate for this actually the segment. So. Time to be alive, where you can get your loved one frozen in time as a coffee table in your living room.
What are they in? Is that like acrylic?
I think so. They're poured in acrylic. It's a hell of a time to be alive when you can get your loved one in.
And wait a minute, I got a question.
Why do the people look weird too? Look at the person. Look at her face.
Riddle me this though. Like, you don't decompose inside that? Like,
that's exactly what I said to my wife. I was like, this looks great and all, but like, what happens if it doesn't work properly and you get to watch Granny decompose?
And even if it doesn't, is this clear squared shell like that you have me trapped in, like that you can't do nothing about after the fact? You froze me in my 80s and definitely not my peak self, probably. Let's be honest. Like, you couldn't have maybe made a fake 3D printed 40-year-old version of me. You know what I mean? Or like 35-year-old version of me.
So I have a question.
And then freeze me in acrylic like that. And
so if you're sitting down on this couch,
90-year-old ass.
You're sitting down on this couch and your grandma's right there in front of you and you're playing Xbox. And then you accidentally slide off of Xbox onto maybe Xtube or X videos.
And you're just beating it in front of your dead grandmother?
Is it okay to just,
start fucking over the dead grandma?
I don't know, but like, why? Like this one, look at their faces. Are they already dead?
Are they dead themselves? Is this
I don't
just
know.
Are
they on the waiting list to be frozen next? Like, what's going on?
Do you remember? I don't know if it was the Wild Wild West or like right when photography first started, in the West, like people used to take photos.
You would have to sit down for like ever though.
Postmortems.
Oh,
and
that too, yeah.
Yeah, they would do, and there's all sorts of these black and white photos from fucking 1800s and shit. They just prop up dead bodies. Ooh, nice knife, Mike.
It's my Bear Grylls knife. It's literally a Bear Grylls knife. I'm not even joking.
Nice.
And I didn't buy it because it was Bear Grylls' knife. I bought it because it was on sale at Walmart for like $10.99. And I was like, oh, okay. It's a nice knife.
Sometimes you find good shit at Walmart, man.
I wouldn't freeze my grandmother or anybody in a babe. When you die, I'm not getting you imprintedly frozen into a desk or shelf or something. You're not becoming furniture.
Wait, you know what? Hold on a second though.
What? Oh my God! Put my ashes inside Elf on the Shelf. She just said.
I always thought this. Like, if somebody was thinking about building a permanent building, I would sign up to have my ashes put into a brick and be built into the building. What up, Yon? What's up, homie? I want to know if Yoni got any more of that Korean barbecue. That shit is awesome.
Some good shit.
So good. So good. The ones down here are meh. But Queens, you guys do
so some more videos to react to before we get into our so I think the conspiracy of the week.
I didn't even think about any conspiracies for this episode. I don't care that I didn't, but there's probably one out there. I think
the conspiracy for the week is also the dipshit of the week.
Ooh, I like a double.
But we'll do some more reactions first. So let's share this one instead. I don't know if you guys saw this one. This one was very interesting. I'm not big on Zoom meetings, but you know.
Slide 3.
Well, I live in a Zoom meeting.
I actually hop on this call since I'm not on this account.
No problem.
Okay. So he's gonna hop off this call because he's not on this account.
Let's just start off with January 2020.
This guy in the top corner here.
Is up. If you look at the graph right below.
What page are we on?
I'm sorry, we're on page 12, the second graph from the top.
Okay. Danielle, turn your camera off.
He thinks.
Right. So if you look, we're 0.15% higher than
the camera's up.
Turn it off.
We started this quarter off.
No, don't take your pants off.
Holy shit.
Holy shit is right.
Daniel.
The guy in the bottom of your
Daniel.
Yo.
Daniel.
The guy in the bottom here, he's the man. Did you see it? He's like, oh shit, this is awesome. He gets up, he's moving, he's like, this is awesome. It's not awesome because it's just, oh my God, that's
Daniel.
Daniel.
Call Mika. Oh my God. You call Daniel on his cell. Call Daniel on his cell. How do we turn this feed off?
Wow.
We can't. Oh, hell no. Daniel. Oh my God. Daniel is the host. Holy shit.
And he's the host. So you can't, he's the only one who could stop the meeting.
That is incredible. That is incredible.
That happened in real life. That's not staged. That's not staged, is it?
It could be. I don't know.
Shit like that did happen in real life. Wasn't there that really famous occurrence that happened?
Yes, no, there was a real one. Yes, but
early COVID, right?
At this point, you just all log off. Like, hey guys, he's clearly having fun. We're not. We're in a meeting. Let's just all log off. Or let's all jerk off together, make it one big party.
Just one big spank sesh. Just everybody just beats their shit, and pretend like nothing happened and just go along with the meeting after. Yo, did I send you this shit that the James Webb Space Telescope thinks they found a planet with life on it? Is this it?
Found signs of life and intelligence on a planet outside our solar system. The planet is called K218b, and it's about 2.
All right, guys. Okay, sorry to interrupt this, but can you stop giving planets these weird fucking names?
They're just labeled. They're gonna get a name eventually once their people can give it a name. Their people have to give it a name. We can't just name it. That's not up to us.
Call it Bob 1 for fuck's sake. I don't care.
I think that's what the K stands for. I think the K stands for some name. But it's in the system.
It's 6 times the size of Earth, and it orbits a red dwarf star about 124 light-years away from us. But what makes this planet so special is that it has water and a hydrogen-rich atmosphere, which could support life. And not just any life, but possibly complex and diverse life forms that could rival those on Earth. How do we know that? Well, thanks to the James Webb Space Telescope that has detected carbon-bearing molecules such as methane and carbon dioxide, which are produced by biological processes on Earth, and possibly dimethyl sulfide, which is only produced by life on Earth. But that's not all. Webb also found nitrogen dioxide and chlorofluorocarbons, which are produced by human activities on Earth. These are called technosignatures, and they indicate the presence or activity of intelligent civilizations on a planet. This is a groundbreaking discovery that could change our understanding of ourselves and our place in the universe.
We found the lizard people's home planet.
If you want to learn more...
It's 124 light years away. So at the speed of light, it takes 124 years to get there.
More about this amazing story, check out the full video.
Yeah. Planet stuff is boring. I'm sorry, Schmitz.
On YouTube.
But listen, if they could move faster than fucking light, maybe they are here. Maybe that's who the lizard people are.
What is this? Did you?
But
send
it
me
would
this
still
too?
take you 120. Oh yeah.
Skies
I thought this shit was hilarious.
Oh, it's chemtrails.
Well, I've cooked up a little something to clear the air. This baby is gonna clear the sky. Watch and learn. Push the button, I go.
The fuck am I watching, bro?
Yeah, take that, Illuminati.
What the fuck did you send me?
What the fuck? Did the humans just take back our space coat? They double-crossed us! We have a deal!
You know, I just thought I thought for a second there it was gonna be a bad video. It wasn't going in a good direction, and all of a sudden there's space coke involved.
Damn. What the hell happened to the space coke? Go, Dread! Operation Space Coke has been compromised.
No one steals from the Snortalians!
See those chemtrails, Echo?
The
Poisoning our sky.
So what I'm pretty much saying is that planet that they found that could be a planet filled with space coke, and they're coming here to take our space coke.
Did you send me this too?
Oh, I send you a lot of stuff. Oh, from this dude? Yeah, I probably sent it.
What is this?
I think he sounds Canadian to me.
News?
Experts warn that the next pandemic is already on its way, as they claim that disease X may kill up to 50.
I read something about disease X, but it was like buried in like some newsbreak article I saw, and I was like, I'm not clicking this. I don't give a fuck about this shit no more.
Because they know if anybody even starts like saying fire in a theater, in a crowded theater, like people will panic.
Yeah, but I still see people driving by themselves in a car with a mask on. You're by yourself in a car. You're in your car by yourself. Like there's nobody there. There's no one else. No, it makes no sense. You can't give yourself COVID. It doesn't. I don't get it.
I'll tell you what though. What I noticed after flying a few times this year, I've noticed that it's a lot less people on airplanes. But it went back to like because there used to be before COVID. There were, if you were on a full flight, there might be 3 or 4 people on that flight with a mask on. I've seen it. I remember that like vaguely being a thing, mostly amongst like the Asian community. They were doing it for years already. Like, you know, like wearing masks and stuff in public places.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that thumbs up, by the way, everyone.
But on airplanes, I'm like, oh, it's back to normal. Like nobody has a mask on the airplanes, and it sort of feels like
because you're all in general, it made no sense because you were all already breathing in the recycled air. The mask ain't stopping that air from being recycled 10 times.
You ever like be on an airplane and you see like this like the steam? I don't know, the steam, like the gas just coming into the, you know, like the pressurized fucking air coming in, so it looks like cloudy through the vents.
Okay, the way I fly typically.
Okay.
Is I eat a shitload of edibles. So I'm not paying attention to anything. I'm basically just drooling on myself.
Well, sometimes when you enter the plane, this is happening too.
Yeah, no, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that. I assume it's just like an air conditioner, so it's like
it is. It's the air return system or whatever. And sometimes, like, because I'm eating edibles every time I fly as well, because how else do you fly? I haven't, I swear.
He's lying already.
No. The only time I flew not high in the last like 15 years was last November for my cousin's wedding. That was the last time.
You know,
but any other time before that, definitely like edibles.
Let's finish this video.
50 million people. Or maybe you're referring to how the FBI leaked potential terrorist attack targets in New York City. Pandemics and terrorists and pollution. Oh my. Also not what I'm referring to. Security guard killed in New Hampshire after failed mass shooting attempt. Massive wildfires breaking out in Virginia and Maryland. Gee, those FBI terrorist attacks are really heating up. Also, Fishless rivers in the Congo.
It's half a mustache. You see that shit?
This Tesla has been allegedly dumping sulfuric acid and other waste into the environment. Massive storm rocks the city of Dubai.
That was crazy. I saw that.
Well, what then? A fan died at a Taylor Swift concert in Brazil. Maybe her and Travis Scott should do a show together.
Wow.
Oh, shit. That was, he dropped the mic at the end of that one. But yeah, I'm not saying he's where I get my news from. But every once in a while, he'll say something. I'm like, what? I didn't even see that on the news. And then I'll Google it and I'll be like, oh, shit, that's actually happened. Be like Reuters or Associated Press or some shit. Oh, so before we read, can I give you the summary of this lovely story that I stumbled upon? John Yoni, my friend, Rabbi Yoni.
Hold on 1 sec. Hey, found out what all those booms were all over Brooklyn at 10:50 p.m. Only heard one small thing, supposedly meteorites. There is a storm. Yeah, there is.
Yeah, a meteor storm.
But we're not supposed to be hearing them, I don't think.
No,
that's crazy.
Whatever doesn't burn up in the atmosphere may come in like chunks, like baseball
of course,
size chunks. Smash through somebody's roof.
Or,
they got
or
another
it was
insurance
just
company.
Or it was just this guy walking in the story.
Now, check this out. Out of Italy. This is an Italian fucking story. And let me just tell you the story in brief. This dude that you see here, I believe it's this guy, was released from Italian prison. And this is what he was convicted of. He was convicted of murder. Murdering his girlfriend in a hotel room. And why? Why did he murder his girlfriend? No, food was involved though. He'd gotten breadcrumbs in the bed in the hotel room, and she threw bread at him. So he stabbed her to death. Then he got sentenced to whatever they sentenced him in prison. After a year, he went into prison weighing 206 pounds. And after a year, he weighed 450 pounds, 260 pounds. And after a year, he weighed 450 pounds. They released him because he'd become so sizable.
450?
Yes. What do they call this corpulent convict? As if you read in the story, they call him the corpulent convict. Was released from prison because they could not house him. He got so big. He ate so much. The food is so good in Italian prison.
Wow.
That after a year he gained 200, and they had to let him go. He's got to be like close to death or something, or maybe he's like, it's like house arrest is like, all right, whatever. We don't want to feed you anymore.
House arrest. They don't need takeaway. Okay.
Mike, they said you eat it too much. You eat it too much. We cannot have you here. You're too big. You're too big for the cell. You gotta go. You get out of here. Just say, get out of here.
They don't need to give him an ankle bracelet or nothing. Don't give him a car, and he can't go nowhere.
Bro, imagine they just kept feeding him, and he just got like jammed up in the cell, like one of those really tiny ones, like the 8x6s. You ever see those?
Yeah.
It's like literally, and there'll be 2 bunks in there. Imagine he couldn't fucking get out of that shit.
Ooh.
He thinks about the world differently, sees it through a different perspective, a different lens.
Wrestling is still a valid medium. Wrestling is still, or wait, no, this is a fight. Is he a fighter or a wrestler?
I think this is an MMA fighter. Trump was indicted before anyone on Epstein's client list. It's very true. It's
That's true.
Very factual information there.
Yeah, I got a question. If he's MMA, where are his 5-ounce gloves? What's up?
He fights through.
Dude, I'm just reading the background. I don't know if this is you could never trust what the fucking thing says anyway.
A completely different lens too. He expresses himself.
I did it again. I X'd it out by accident, guys.
We're back into the age of people wearing shirts to like say what they represent, right?
You sent this to me too, I believe. Yes.
Stand on the razor's edge. Don't look down, just keep your head and you'll be finished.
Or I'm not gonna lie. I was like, the Dumbfounded Dipshits should make T-shirts on like Etsy or something. There should be like pro-Palestinian and Israel shirts, but like put our faces on it.
Yeah, but it's insane. I was talking to my nephew, right, and I was like, you know what's nuts? It's just how now, like, we've been divided. 2016 nation, the most divided it's been since Vietnam or the Civil War, right? Nation divided, and then nation staying divided even still till now, because let's not it is still side by side to side. Those two sides split in half over the Israel-Palestine shit. That and a combination of like Ukraine, Russia, just like put a scrambler to the left and the right at the same time, like double scrambled. Pretty soon, nobody's gonna know. You know what I mean? Like, there's a whole bunch of like Michael Rappaport, for example. Michael Rappaport.
I can't stand Michael Rapp. I can't. Okay, I liked his movies. I'm sorry, I have to go on a rant here. I like his movies, but like, you're an actor, dude. Sometimes you just need to shut the fuck up. Like, I get it. You think you're cool. You think you're hip. He acts like he's down with everyone. If you know what I mean. Like he acts like he can mingle with anyone, if that makes sense.
Well, that's probably how he made his way into Hollywood, but he's also like an Upper East Side snob too.
Like, you are a snob, and you all the shit you talk, dude. You're like the most white privileged person I've ever seen in my life. Like, dude, why is he speaking on anything? Like, dude,
but sometimes he's funny. Sometimes he's funny, but the thing is, he gets obnoxious though. That's the
Sometimes he's funny, but sometimes he's just obnoxious.
Yeah, to be quite honest with you, I don't give a shit about anybody's views anymore. Like, I'm at the point where I'm like, they're like, hey, how do you feel about? I'm like, I don't care. I just look off into space, like, so I don't know, I don't care.
I don't really care to talk about the letter that much. I just want to bring up that the letter resurfaced. There was never like a hidden letter. Apparently, it was just resurfaced, and the letter is like, why?
Okay, what? All right, so he wrote a love letter or a hate letter to the United States. The hate letter,
this is
a breakup letter. Is this a breakup letter? He's like, U.S., I'm breaking up with you. I know we had an alliance back in 1986.
I just want to show with some young Americans believing that the Al Qaeda founder made valid points about our country, dude. Okay, he basically says things like, hey, we want to destroy Israel. Israel's hurting the Palestinians, which is a whole we could argue that left and right, who cares,
right?
But it's basically, if you have a logical brain,
we knew his stance on that. I mean, obviously,
this is nothing new.
Obviously, he thought that. Yeah,
it's nothing new.
It's nothing new. Yeah.
And the problem I have is people saying, "Oh, listen, he was right. He was right." Are you forgetting what the fuck he did? But
you know what most of his fight was, that Afghan war against Russia, and that's what his that's where his jihad was. His jihad was in Afghanistan, and even though he was a Saudi, came from a rich Saudi family, his cause was in Afghanistan. And then once that was won, I guess his beef was with the United States. We're like, all right, peace out. Now we're just not going to help you anymore. And Afghanistan turned to shit, because it was like, before even we got there, again, like when we went there in 2001 to chase him, it was already like still decimated from when the Russians fucking leveled that place in the 80s. You know what I mean? So his beef was, and of course he had like, you know what it's like? He's like sort of, when you sympathize for another team that you both have the same enemy.
All right,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, we're gonna have to do one more.
Obviously, he's like pro-Palestinian because he's an Arab and he's Muslim, and he wanted to bomb the United States. So it's like, and he,
pot me kettle a little bit.
Yeah, or orchestrated terrorist attacks against naval ships in the Persian Gulf and other shit, even before 9/11.
So I have another what a time to be alive. On this, and I was just like, what the fuck do you mean? A 5-year-old boy fatally stabs his twin brother with a kitchen knife during a fight. And like, it's a tragedy. Hold on. It's a fucking tragedy. It's sad. It's horrible. But at the same time, was the kid like, yo, I'm gonna fuck you up, got a knife and killed his brother? Like,
that's like the evil brother lived.
How does that? Are you
Do you
sure?
know what's Do you know what's fucked up? Like, what do you do with the 5-year-old that stabbed its brother to death?
He's going to jail.
Going to jail? You send a 5-year-old to jail? Like,
yes, you give him the death penalty for sure. Capital punishment. You cut his fingers off. He'll never kill again.
I'm not gonna say that I don't think that the child isn't possessed by the devil, because it sounds like the child is possibly
It's
possessed
Northern
by the
California.
devil.
Okay. A 5-year-old Northern California boy is dead after officials say his twin brother stabbed him with a knife during a fight between siblings. The Santa Cruz, ironic name, County Sheriff's Office reported deputies responded just before 4 p.m. Wednesday at a home in a small city of Scotts Valley for a report of a stabbing. Blah, blah, blah. Fighting as siblings sometimes do. I don't think 5-year-olds knife fight.
All right, now wrestlers one thing. I don't think they knife fight. How did he learn how to stab somebody to death? Who taught him how to do that? A 5-year-old doesn't just naturally just know how to just like murder. You're not. That's where the fuck does that come from? You know.
No charges have been filed. I guess 5-year-olds are allowed to murder.
Do you think this kid is going to be like 18 and forgot that he stabbed his brother to death?
Or just casually bring it up in conversation. He's like, oh, you see the Ranger game? Yeah. Oh, by the way, I stabbed my 5-year-old twin brother to death. Oh, I was 5'2". Don't worry, it's okay.
Aren't there like wild animals like where like the cubs do that, or like the chicks do that, like eaglets or something? Like one will just like kill the other, or like isn't there like a bird or a reptile that the siblings kill each other?
I don't know, but
Like in the nest?
Ryan, imagine being on a blind date with this person, and they're older now, and you're like, "Oh, tell me an interesting fact about yourself." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I stabbed and murdered my 5-year-old twin brother to death. But don't worry, at the time I was also 5, so you know."
Yeah,
you
I mean that
now.
would be implied, obviously. You know, my 5-year-old twin brother. I was 5 as well. If you
It's not really anything to really laugh at. I'm not laughing at the incident. I'm laughing at
fucking
like
crazy.
I don't.
That's wild.
Was
that
there at
wild.
least action movie like the kid pulled out a knife and the other kid had like a spatula or something? Like was there?
I'm feeling like it was a kitchen knife. Definitely, it sounds like Chucky, dude. That shit sounds like. Well, wait, what the fuck, yo? What was that movie with Elijah Wood? Do you remember that movie?
The Good Son.
Him and Macaulay Culkin.
Good
right?
movie. Good movie.
That's what that sounds like, dude. That's fucking crazy. What the
Here's
fuck?
another one. What a time to be alive. An Arab coffee shop introduces Holocaust-themed drink.
No.
Excuse me. I have like stuffy nose still, so it's hard to like talk. I generally have a hard time talking because I'm retarded. Arab coffee shop introduces Holocaust-themed drink, complete with burning Jewish marshmallows.
God damn.
A social media post shows marshmallows decorated with the Star of David being charred by a torch-bearing hand gloved in the colors of the Palestinian flag. Wow.
That's not real.
A coffee shop
in Jordan
is promoting.
In Jordan, wow.
That probably is real then. It is real.
Themed product on its Facebook page, including charred Star of David marshmallows. Amid the war between neighboring Israel.
All right.
Who's the news source?
If
you know what, Mike? I was gonna say this. I was gonna say this earlier.
It's Newsbreak.
I've been thinking about it lately, and you know, racism is making a hard comeback.
But I like it.
You like it when other people are racist, right?
Yeah, I like it. Yes.
I don't like myself being racist, but when I see other people being super fucking racist,
you don't understand. No,
like,
it's great because
I like when I see them way more racist than I am. Like maybe like I might be like a racist in denial. Like I think a lot of people are. I think a lot of people are just like, I'm not racist, but you might be a little bit.
I don't think I'm racist. I generally hate every race. Every one of them, all of them. You all suck.
This should be our theme song. Typo negatives, we hate everyone.
Good song. Very good song.
Right wing commie, leftist Nazi.
Oh my God.
I love that song. It's an awesome song. It's a beautiful song.
Don't tell me his name. I forgot his name. How did I forget his fucking name? God, I hate you. I said don't tell me his name. I used to see his yellow Hummer driving around Bedford Avenue all the time.
Well, he had some sort of tank with chains hanging off of it. I remember it was loud.
Crazy shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like it now because like it's everyone. Everyone's being racist.
Yeah. Everyone's
like-
being racist. Racist is making such a hard comeback that it's starting to become socially acceptable for right now. White dudes cannot be racist anymore, right? That's off limits. White women as well, right? But some other it's like there's some sort of socially acceptable levels of racism that could come out of like the Asian community, and there's like socially acceptable levels of racism that could come out of like the Black community, and socially acceptable levels of racism that come out of like the Latino community, amongst other groups, and all of them are allowed to be racist against like whites, especially, right? But it's funny to a certain degree. You know what I mean? Not when it like this is a little brutal. I think
I have a question.
it's I know they're marketing to their people.
Do you think it? How do you think it tastes? A little ashy.
I don't know. That looks like a dab torch, right? Could you toast marshmallows with a dab torch?
That's what they are. You're not like.
A dab torch. A dab torch isn't just for dabs.
Yeah.
A dab torch.
Where's mine? It's literally a brulee torch.
So
it's like
Mike,
a fancy it's a fancy brulee torch.
My ignorant ass thought that these torches that I've been dabbing off of all this time, like every time I meet up with you dudes,
were like special.
Dabs, I just thought they were just part of the rig. Like this is the torch for this rig.
I mean, since people start dabbing, they've made better torches and specific ones for that. But most of the ones you use, like that one,
are culinary torches.
Yeah, basically, like some of them are better than others. To be honest with you, the best thing to use is a propane thing that you get at Home Depot. That's the best thing.
It probably tastes like s'mores. Do you know what's fucked up? It's because marshmallows aren't kosher. I don't think. That's a double diss. That's a hard double diss. Wow.
Speaking of racism,
people are drawing hard lines nowadays, dude.
Dude, a Jewish security organization said a grenade was found strapped to a utility pole in New Jersey, by a synagogue.
Was it live? A live grenade?
See that they said it was. Where is it? They can confirm that a grenade was discovered strapped to a utility pole. Blah blah blah. It was real but not active. I don't know what that means. What, the pin wasn't out? Is that what you mean?
No.
It was real but not active.
Like as in like if you like if you pull the like there are dead grenades that are actual grenades that just don't have any like shit in them, but they are like the pin and the whole casing and everything, but it's not like a live grenade. A live grenade is something you can pull the pin out of, and if you let the thing go, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi.
You know, you got it. You know, things are going crazy when the Hispanic man is yelling at the black lady to go back to Africa because the black lady yelled at the Hispanic man to go back to Mexico. You know, the word's coming to the comment. The comment right
shit.
Here.
Yeah, totally. Dude, it's almost like hysteria. It's hysteria. It is.
Oh yeah, there was this. Speaking of the whole world being more racist and anti-Semitic and anti-everything, Russia announces chilling move to label international public LGBT movement as extremist. Like,
so
what?
they're putting LGBT folk on a watch list, like how like the FBI would put like communists on watch lists in the United States.
Russia's Ministry of Justice announced today it petitioned its country's Supreme Court to declare the international public LGBT movement as an extremist element and ban its activities within the country. I mean,
so that means they could break up their protests, they could break up their parades, they could probably harass establishments, like maybe businesses that may cater to like the community.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically.
So and that puts you maybe it puts you on some KGB watch list or some shit.
I mean,
they may treat LGBTQ community groups in Russia as American cells because they think that's part to like, you know, I mean, they're pretty sure like they're going to label that as being an American value because that's, you know, the country that has the most freedoms, you know, as far as socially goes, you know, because you can't do that there. It's illegal. I think being homosexual is illegal in Russia. I don't think being trans is illegal though.
did you send me this?
Oh yeah.
Wait, what? He sat down to
Had dinner with the bros. Had dinner with the bros.
Black Rock. Jesus. Wow, this is like insane because this is all the shit RFK's been talking about.
Yeah.
And like, why is he meeting with that? I'm like, what?
Yeah. You know what? Like, I get scared for RFK a little bit. You know what I mean? Because like, I'm like,
Stop, stop, zip it, zip it, zip it, zip it, zip it. Yeah, this is all happening so fast now, and all the shit that has been said, and it's all coming to like in the big. It's in the big picture now. You can all see it. Like it's everywhere. Like why is someone in what? Okay. Of course, Bridgewater. Insane. Okay, so my conspiracy is this. So I was baffled when I saw that this is how San Francisco looked. This is San Francisco. San Francisco.
They cleaned it up.
They put up fences and got rid of the homeless like that.
They cleaned it up.
You know what I have to say about this moment, by the way? This is gonna sound horrible. Where's that shooter on the grassy knoll when you fucking need him?
Wow. Yeah. You know what? Not here, because you know.
Oh, it'd be the end of the world.
Yeah. I mean, this. Why can't they do this to Why couldn't they do this to San Francisco when I went there 5 years ago? And it was still like, and it was still just starting to get grimy.
Forget that. My conspiracy is worse than that. This is basically prepping us to bow to our Chinese warlords. Or
do you think they're rolling out the red carpet?
Absolutely. Okay. Basically, America is currently China. That's basically it. Now it's over. America's done. We've opened up the red.
You think we sold out?
In this instance, it's that way. I gotta go like that. When we go to his country, there's no American flags everywhere and this crazy welcome. No, there isn't. He should be surrounded by American flags and people supporting the country that he's fucking in. But when he sees that to make him feel comfortable, why are you giving this man? Fuck out of here, play this game.
This is no. Hold on. You know what we're doing to him in this moment is sort of like what North Korea does when people come there. Like they stage things like, oh, like this is what things look like. Those are all plants. Nobody who's standing there next to that motorcade is there because they're not allowed to be there. They're there because they were all handpicked to be there, and those flags were given to them by the United States government and said, "We're going to show these to because it's all for show. It's part of the theater. You know what I mean? Because I guess they still." Hiddleston, didn't somebody say that Z looked like Winnie the Pooh and that's why he's banned in China? Is that what you're referring to? So Z couldn't take a joke? Which is why we named the episode that? Somebody said that. Who said that Z looked like Winnie the Pooh? Did you hear that? Or am I just making that up?
It's South Park, dude.
Oh, yeah, there you go. That is South Park.
I'm trying to get it right now. I was trying to find the clip, but the clip is unavailable, which is crazy. And the name of the episode is Banned in China.
So, but like Disney's not banned in China, right?
No.
But
And
the IP
and
of
Comedy
Winnie the Pooh
Central is. Comedy Central is too. And
so South Park is banned in China.
yes, Comedy Central and anything South Park is associated with because when they apologize. Did you ever see their apology? Come on, you saw their apology. Hold on.
Dude, I'm a fucking stoner. I probably have Trey Parker and Matt Stone's apology to China.
You heard this? Look, listen. This is the part.
Is it like the John Cena apology to China?
No. John Cena basically sucked their dicks.
Yeah, John Cena well, he already knew how to speak
You can't
Mandarin.
see this. Here you go.
Who here thought they had permission
Oh yeah, that's right.
to say anything critical of Chinese politics?
Well, it is true, sir. The Chinese seem to exploit their own people with forced labor.
Shut the fuck up, Thor! You're here to flex and not think, you fucking bitch!
Please, Mr. Marsh was only standing up for me and Piglet because we were political prisoners.
You are a fat diabetic bear, and if the Chinese don't want you, then I don't either. Now who the fuck is Mr. Marsh?
Oh, that's me, Randy Marsh.
Who is this? I don't know you. Are you from
He's the best.
No, I'm from South Park.
What's South Park? Do I own that?
No, not yet, sir.
You're telling me that I'm losing customers because of some shithead that's not even from my company.
So you guys get the idea. Basically, so they apologized to China, and this is their apology to China. You could read that out loud.
Like the NBA, we welcome the Chinese censors into our homes and into our hearts. We too love money more than freedom and democracy. Z doesn't look just like Winnie the Pooh at all. Tune in to our 300th episode this Wednesday at 10. Yeah. Long live the great Communist Party of China. May this autumn's sorghum harvest be bountiful. We good now, China. We good now?
So yeah. So it's like
sounds pretty sincere, I guess.
No, it's not. It's a smack in the face to the NBA. And China's like, just like the NBA, we welcome Chinese censors.
It was the NBA. It was, and I think John Cena said that shit about Taiwan, and he apologized for that. And then, wait, so is Winnie the Pooh really banned in China though? Is he?
Let's find out.
Did it? Okay. I mean, just blocked it out.
The Guardian.
Sorta.
They banned the release of Christopher Robin and the new film. Blah 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 blah. So they just banned the new film. Wow, he does kind of look like Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, there is
Obama looks like Tigger.
That is an uncanny resemblance.
And I said Tigger, and I meant Tigger. I meant nothing else when I said Obama looks like Tigger.
You said it with the hard R, and I was like, I didn't catch it because I was thinking Tiger, but whatever. You know what I mean?
Tigger. The guy's name is Tigger. His name isn't Tigger. It's Tigger.
Tigger,
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not Tigger.
It's Tigger. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he bounces on his tail. He's super hyper.
A wonderful thing about Tiggers is Tigger's the wonderful thing. Something like that.
No, there was always something different. I think he always said something.
I'm already banned in China. I basically said the dragon, the what are those? The spotted dragonfly or with the spotted whatever fly are Chinese spy drones. Okay, I'm already banned by China.
Hiddleston, if this episode doesn't get us banned in China, then one of the many thumbnails from the last year or so would have gotten us banned in China. There have been a few that were like, I was like sort of a little. I was like, all right, we're on some sort of watch list right now.
So I just want to let you guys know, we don't plan on ever monetizing because we have like 6 people watching us today. We had a total of 10 in total. A total of 10 in total. Good job, Mike. Anyway, so even when we have, if we had like 2 million people watching, which would be incredible, we still wouldn't make a penny off the show because every episode I put out, it has the words demonetized on it. And it's like, guys, no one's watching us. You don't have to even bother to demonetize because it's
I like to curse early and often, and they frown heavily upon that. They don't like to give money to foul mouths like moi. Listen, I don't fucking need your money, okay?
I do.
No, but please give me your money. Give me money.
If you want to sponsor us, I can't talk. Weed's a good way to sponsor us. If they want to give us weed, we'll take free weed. No, I'm kidding. I am not soliciting to get free weed.
Experimental stuff. Give me the experimental stuff. Yeah. Give me the free stuff. Yeah. But yeah. So did Iceland fall into the ocean yet, or what?
I don't even think that it. I forgot there was even a volcano. Like
they said that shit was about to blow. I saw on the 16th that fucking gases were coming out. They had to completely evacuate the area. Like deadly gases, volcanic farts.
As of 48 minutes ago, the magma is very close to the surface.
Magma. They said just meters. They weren't counting it in like miles. Like earthquakes, usually like you can be. I was like a mile, like in the ground that started or more. You know, whatever. Like this shit is like they're talking in meters. So there's like hot fucking.
By the way, I was very
boiling
disappointed.
Underneath of what?
I was very
Me?
disappointed.
Again?
No, stop. I completely forgot about Remember, the 5th of November.
Oh, that's right.
Completely forgot. Usually on that day, I watched the movie V for Vendetta, and I completely forgot about it. First
Portman
year
shaved
ever.
her head for that movie.
A great movie, though. A very, very good movie.
That's what's his face from Lord of the Rings. And he's
Yes.
also the Matrix. He's the whatever, you know, that guy.
Mr. Smith. Mr. Anderson.
This episode of the Y-Files is brought to you by Huel.
Oh, this guy. What's happening today with this guy? And Hecklefish. Hi, Hecklefish.
So I really like this channel because he kind of gives you what is known about it without giving his opinion. And at the end, basically goes, yeah, it sounds like it's bullshit, man. Basically, he doesn't say it like that. He kind of just, tells you his opinion. But
On April 7th, 2016, the team running NASA's New Horizons mission were waiting nervously.
So before I even go further, so I'm watching the show Man in High Castle. And the guy that wrote the book, Man in High Castle.
That's the Nazi flip.
Yes.
On
the
World
guy.
War II. Okay.
It's not quite though. It goes. I don't want to. Well, probably never gonna watch it.
That's the poster. That's the poster.
It's basically there's 2 different timelines because when they set off the nuclear bomb, it created a
alternate
time
universe.
Yes.
Yes.
And in this time universe, Nazis won the war because they made the bomb first. Anyway.
Yeah.
The guy that wrote the show's based on a book, and the guy that wrote the book claimed that he lived in that he fell asleep one day or some shit and woke up in that alternate world and lived in that alternate world and then wrote a book about it. So he claims it's not fiction, it's something that he experienced.
What?
And these are it's gonna tie into this, I believe, somehow.
Okay.
The spacecraft was
the episode of the Joe Rogan episode where he had the 2 UFO guys on.
Yes.
They bring him up, and they brought up how that he had theories because he experienced UFOs before he had that dream, and that how he thinks the aliens are human, but from the future, and they can time travel through even dimensions. And
I've thought that what we think are like UAPs are actually just like maybe malfunctioning fucking time machines that we're not supposed to see them, that they're around.
Well, we're seeing them because our technology is getting better. Remember, we only started seeing them again, not again, often because of that. But let's get into the video, guys. Can't talk.
That could be part of that. That
shit is strong.
About to enter the outermost reaches of our solar system. They'd aimed toward Pluto, which lives in a region of the solar system called the Kuiper Belt. Just before arriving at the dwarf planet, the team noticed an object nearby, and it was acting very strange. This object, whatever it was spinning faster than everything else around it.
Do you remember this, by the way? I remember this story because I read stupid science stuff and articles. I remember them talking about this, and they said this doesn't really move like anything we've seen before. This is weird.
Too fast, artificially fast. New Horizons changed course to do a flyby. They wanted a better look at this bizarre behavior. But as the spacecraft approached the object, all communications went down. NASA wasn't able to see or hear anything. Something or someone was blocking the signal. Whoever it was did not want NASA to know they were there and that they've been watching us.
That's speculation.
Speculation,
but interesting.
Very long time.
Like and subscribe to this guy. Just saying.
Yeah, human, perfect. Look, I need your help.
No, hi.
Sir.
A good day.
Sorry.
I need your help. Turn to host my in. The ladies and I have a little tuna noodle casserole. All right, pie gal.
Wait, I thought you.
Have fun.
Okay.
Just for the record, the goldfish gets it in.
I get it. I want to eat.
Out of the water. Hey, get it?
Okay, when is the party?
By the way, don't
commercial.
Nutrient. Look in the favorite fiber.
It's quick, keto, delicious. Sorry.
The perfection.
And get your own. With your first order, you get free shipping.
/ the welcome link.
Solar system. And it is a huge region of space. Its inner edge begins at the orbit of Neptune at about 30 AU from the sun. Now, 1 AU, or astronomical unit, is the distance from the Earth to the sun. So,
I didn't realize that Pluto was outside the Kuiper Belt. I didn't know that. It's amazing things. Like, I think I've learned it, but I never retained the information.
It's sort of part of it. You know what I mean?
The inner edge of the Kuiper Belt is about 2.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off by doing that. Go full screen. Come on, you fuck. Thank you.
0.8 billion miles from the sun. Then it extends for about another 4.5 billion miles. Now, beyond the Kuiper Belt is a structure called the Oort cloud, and that place is way farther, much bigger, and really strange. We'll cover the Oort cloud in another episode. Now, the existence of the Kuiper Belt was first hypothesized in 1943 by Irish astronomer Kenneth Edgeworth.
The Irish.
He felt there was a reservoir of comets and asteroids.
Wow, nice mustache.
Residing in the solar system.
It's not quite the Hitler, but it's close.
It's that's the pre when the Hitler became a thing. So that might be like prior to World War I.
Planets. Edgeworth was right, and the Kuiper Belt was finally visually confirmed in 1992. David Jewett and grad student Jane Liu discovered the first Kuiper Belt objects, or KBOs. Now, KBOs are the various comets, dwarf planets, asteroids, and other icy bodies that make up the Kuiper Belt. Jewett and Liu named their discovery as a tribute to Gerard Kuiper, who's considered to be the father of planetary science. Before he proposed the concept of the Kuiper Belt in 1951, he'd already discovered the moons of Neptune.
Did he look at Uranus?
I was waiting for that.
Are we going to do this every time?
What? I just want to know if this scientist was interested in Uranus.
He was.
Yeah.
He's the one who discovered its moons.
Yeah. If you look close enough, you'll see plenty of stuff around Uranus.
Okay.
Hey, ladies, if a man is willing to give you the moon and the stars, the least you could do is give him Uranus.
That's enough.
That fish is one raunchy fuck.
We've been aware of the Kuiper Belt for a long time, but didn't realize it. Pluto is actually a KBO, and one of the largest of the dwarf planets at 1,500 miles. It even has
still smaller than the moon.
Has its own moons, which is probably why astronomers called it a planet for so long. In the more than 30 years since its discovery, the Kuiper Belt is still a mystery.
The Kuiper Belt is truly a frontier in space. It's a place we're still just beginning to explore, and our understanding is still evolving.
Along with countless comets and asteroids, The Kuiper Belt is home to at least 7 dwarf planets, most of which are roughly 600 to 900 miles in diameter. Eris, discovered in 2005,
Didn't even know that was a planet.
is the most massive object found so far, and new KBOs are discovered all the time. Now, most of the objects found in the Kuiper Belt are easy to explain. They're easy to identify and they're easy to track. But there are things in the Kuiper Belt that don't act like science says they should. They're unpredictable. They're unnatural. And some would say they seem almost intentional. These Kuiper Belt objects challenge our understanding of the solar system and whether we're the only ones here.
That's like, you remember that? You remember that shit? The fucking, what was it called? Fucking, it had a long name. Oumuamua?
It's a dwarf planet, by the way.
Yeah, but it's a dwarf planet. It's just like a midget planet.
Whoa, you can't say midget. It's dwarf.
Eris is a midget planet. Dwarf planet.
What were you saying? You were saying something?
I forget.
May 12, 1994, Michael Irwin and Anna Zhitkov were working late.
And a Zhitkov?
Anna Zhitkov.
What'd I say?
They were the on-duty astronomers at the Roca de los Muchachos Observatory in the Canary Islands.
What
it
a
was
name.
a quiet night like any other night. And then they spotted something. It glowed and then dimmed. It glowed and then dimmed. This was different than any other object around it. It glowed and dimmed in a regular rhythm, every 5.5 hours, which by space standards is fast, insanely fast, too fast. So
What
fast,
does that
the
mean,
centrifugal
too fast?
force should rip a
What is too fast?
regular KBO.
Hold on. So sorry to interruption, guys, but I'm not. Why? Well, I'm not broadcasting anything. I think she's fine. I was watching her. She's sleeping like The Exorcist. Should I go flip her over?
No. You're just not going to sleep tonight.
I'm not sleeping tonight. Great.
Apart. Most Kuiper Belt objects
Cameras.
What?
are bits of dust and ice. They shatter like glass. Anna and Michael had never seen anything like this. According to science, this object shouldn't even exist. This gave the astronomers an ominous feeling. Current technology didn't allow them to get a good enough look to fully identify it. So they named it after the Welsh god of the underworld, Adao. 23 years later, technology caught up. We were finally able to get close enough for a look. In April 2016, NASA's New Horizons mission reached the Kuiper Belt. Next stop, Adao. It was on the way to Pluto, the perfect flyby opportunity to answer a decades-old question. What the heck is this crazy spinning object at the end of the solar system?
Imagine it's the simplest, like another comet or meteor collapsed,
An asteroid or
collided
some
into it.
weird
Yeah.
asteroid.
But just as New Horizons moved in for the close-up, things went dark. Nothing worked.
Oh my God. Let me go look at it.
There had been what's called a CPU safing event that put New Horizons into safe mode. Safe mode shuts down all essential systems and is triggered automatically when the spacecraft detects something unusual. But the team was stumped. After a few hours of the craft running in safe mode, one NASA engineer approached a supervisor with a terrifying idea. The engineer looked around as if to reveal a secret and then quietly said, "It seems like someone is jamming the signal," as if they were aware of our presence and didn't want us to see what they were doing. And the way Adao spun, that insanely fast 5.5 hour rotation, no one had figured that out yet in over 20 years since first seeing it. And those who tried to understand the spin agreed. Adao's movements seemed artificial. It was creating its own gravity within the interior of the object. Now, the concept of spin gravity wasn't new to NASA. NASA started experimenting with artificial gravity in the 1960s. Experts have developed ideas for space stations filled with small towns and farms and parks. The space station could be designed as a giant spinning cylinder. Each of these structures could rotate to create artificial gravity along the inner surface. We've seen this concept in science fiction over and over again, but science fiction is about as far as these ideas.
Security cards. We don't get our whole life stolen.
Is this bullshit, you think?
Well, I mean, it's something that does tread water. It's something that they did observe, and it was like what it is, dude. All it is, and I'm going to tell you this. We might not even have to watch this whole thing, and I'll tell you what it is. There were two objects that had struck each other that were big enough that had their own gravity that are still in that like motion, like, and they're pulling towards each other and will eventually turn into like a big chunk. But right now, it sort of looks like, I don't know, like a bone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a cartoon bone, like that, and it's sort of forming into each other. So, but it spins in a weird way faster than a normal, just singular object would.
Test results on artificial gravity are always the same. Humans are not well suited to it. When exposed to artificial gravity, we're subjected to what's known as Coriolis force deviation. This causes motions going in a straight line to bend, often quite a lot. Coriolis causes motion sickness and all sorts of other dysfunctions. Humans living in artificial gravity do not do well. Basically, we puke and die. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that.
Die?
Vomit on a space station.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist, man. I don't know. I guess we tested it.
Well, I'm not a rocket scientist, and you don't got to take me. But how? Like, who was tested and died?
I'll look it up. Hold on. Let's keep the video playing.
Is a problem. But Adam was spinning in a way that seemed like someone was controlling it. And if there is someone controlling the object, they don't want to be seen. And of all the places in the solar system, the Kuiper Belt is the best place to hide. The Kuiper Belt is 30 to 50 times farther away from the sun than we are. At that distance, things get really dark. Also, the Kuiper Belt is littered with random, oddly shaped objects. It wouldn't be hard to hide amongst the mess. These were the kinds of questions being asked when New Horizons went dark. After a while, the spacecraft drifted away from Adam.
That sounds pretty valid.
Came back to life.
Hold on, what was
like
it?
if I were to hide, right? If I were like an invading or like a not invading, if I were a stalking alien presence in a solar system, in any star system, right?
Yeah.
I would hide in the asteroid belt.
Yeah.
Like camouflage. It's like hiding in the dense forest, right? Because you'd be less likely to be, like a singular object moving on its own from any given direction could be pointed out. But if you're just in the mess of asteroids and dust, then
I don't
probably
see
be easy to
anything,
hide.
by the way, of people getting sick and dying. I just see it was too expensive to implement.
That's all I think that is.
Yeah, I don't see anything about it being too people getting sick and dying. I just see it was very expensive to do. Huh.
Life booted up, and the journey into the Kuiper Belt continued as planned. But what just happened? And how did it happen? But before these questions could be answered, someone realized Adam wasn't alone in its odd behavior. New Horizons was surrounded by KBOs acting strangely. It was like something was bending the laws of physics. And the deeper New Horizons moved into the darkness, the more they realized they weren't alone.
So a lot of these objects that were out there are moving in a weird way. Is that what?
Yeah.
According to the Nemesis theory, we live in a two-star
Resident Evil Nemesis.
Oh, no! This is the planet. What do they call the planet?
Planet X.
Yeah, Planet X, but Nurabu, something like that. Anyway, you can keep playing it. I know this.
Binary solar system. Our sun, the only star we can see, has a companion star, a brown dwarf residing deep in the Kuiper Belt. Brown dwarfs are actually called failed stars. They're huge objects, about 80 times the size of Jupiter, but they don't have enough mass to ignite their hydrogen cores, so they don't burn, they don't shine. but in the depths of the Kuiper Belt, a brown dwarf would be invisible. This object is known as Planet X or Planet 9.
No, Nibiru.
Right.
Nibiru.
Some people think Planet X is Nibiru, home of the Anunnaki.
Yeah, still waiting on that Anunnaki episode, Chief.
I'm working.
We watched that episode with the lizard people because the lizard
Yeah.
people were allegedly so they think they're from that planet, but that planet might be a dwarf star.
On
What?
it. Planet X lies well beyond Pluto, extremely far away. But this enormous object is still close enough to influence the orbits of the outer planet.
Allegedly.
Sorry,
Oh,
how
I fucked
rude
up.
of-
But it allegedly lives.
Allegedly.
I went too far. Where'd it go? Where is it?
There you go. Planet 9.
Anunnaki.
Yes.
This enormous object is still close enough to influence the orbits of the outer planets in our solar system and everything else in the Kuiper Belt. Now, it sounds like science fiction, but it's not. NASA has been actively searching for Planet X for decades. Now, if it's out there, it would explain why some Kuiper Belt objects act so weird. But Planet X...
What happened?
What do you think?
I don't know enough about it. I mean, you could tell me that Planet X has been found.
I mean, I don't know. I would love to believe something like that. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I don't have to, but I've been following this for a little while, and I'm like maybe because they say even the younger Dryas theory. Do you want to know how this theory connects with the Planet X theory?
Sure.
That every time this thing makes an odd pass, it kicks a whole shitload of meteors and asteroids out of whack that come hurling towards us and towards Jupiter. Jupiter catches a lot of them. Jupiter catches a lot of them, but every once in a while, it will get rained down, and it happens like every 12,000 years, or every 15,000, or every 36,000 years, or whatever it is, right? And that's what they think happened before the last.
Doesn't.
So who knows? Sounds good.
That on.
Explain all KBOs. Along with around, there are a few KBOs that make no sense at all. Meet KBO 2008 KV42, a comet within the Kuiper Belt. KV42 is nicknamed Drak, after Dracula, as vampires have the ability to walk on walls.
So this comet walks on walls?
Sorta, yeah. Everything in the solar system moves around the sun in the same direction. This is called prograde orbit. And if you look at the orbits of all the objects from the side, they're basically on the same flat plane. This is called the plane of the ecliptic. So you remember how Dracula can walk on walls? That's what Drak is doing with its orbit. Drak moves in total retrograde, in the opposite direction of everything else. And it ignores the plane of the ecliptic. It's just out there doing its own thing. And Drak ain't small. This comet is 30 miles across. If it hit Earth, it would cause an extinction-level event. Actually, Drak could destroy the Earth entirely. Now, thankfully, Drak's orbit is about twice as far as Neptune, but we're still keeping an eye on it. Now, new photos of the outer bands of the Kuiper Belt are coming out all the time thanks to the James Webb Space Telescope. But what we're told and what we're shown is incredibly controlled. On this channel, we've proven that NASA alters images before releasing them to the public. We've talked about plenty of NASA's bizarre comments and outright lies. Then every so often, we're teased with headlines about potentially science-changing discoveries.
Bizarre object 10 million times brighter than the sun defies physics, NASA says.
NASA's James Webb Space Telescope may have found early galaxies that shouldn't be there. Webb Telescope spots strange objects in the Orion Nebula. They aren't planets or stars. And according to the astronomers who found them, they shouldn't exist.
Strange circles seen in space baffle scientists.
Yeah, but
Even
that's
though
like
these are all legitimate news reports covering official NASA press releases
earlier on. Yeah.
They're meaningless clickbait. When the press asks for specific data on their investigations, NASA spits out overly scientific jargon. None of it means anything. But despite all these efforts to suppress information, there are a few brave people coming forward with very interesting new information. These people know a lot about the Kuiper Belt. How do they know so much? Well, because they were there.
What?
Yeah, man. You ready for this?
Rebecca Rose was only 4 years old
4
the
years
first time
old.
it happened.
Went to the Kuiper Belt
She
at
woke
4
up
years
from a
old.
deep sleep with the sense she wasn't alone. She tried to move, to cry out. She couldn't. She was paralyzed. Several strangers were in her bedroom. They hovered silently over her bed, but she couldn't make out their faces. Then there was a flash of blinding bright light and the rush of cold air. For a brief moment, Rebecca felt weightless. When her eyes adjusted, she realized she wasn't in her room anymore. She tried to move, but she was still paralyzed and now strapped to a metal table. The room was sterile and metallic.
She's 4. So a 4-year-old remembers all this.
That's very detailed for a 4-year-old. A
Hanging
lot
on
of
the
detail for a
walls.
4-year-old.
The air was warm, humid, and thick with a pungent medicinal smell. She spotted a figure in the corner, one of the strangers, the tall one, she called him. Though his mouth didn't move, she heard him say, "You are in no danger. We just want you to play." Rebecca was confused.
What?
Then the stranger gestured to a small table on the other side of the room. There were books, puzzles, and all kinds of games. Some games tested logic, some tested math, some tested visual comprehension and memory. For what felt like hours, Rebecca solved what puzzles she could. Then the stranger approached, smiled at her, and everything
Yeah, this is a 4-year-old.
once again went
A
white.
4-year-old isn't completing any puzzles, dude.
Yeah, I
Rebecca opened her eyes and saw she was back in bed and just in time for school. As far as she knew, she was unharmed, except for a persistent nosebleed. Rebecca went to school like any other day. The memories of her experience faded quickly, like when you lose the details of a dream.
She was 4. Did we hear that? We heard that, right? Not 14. He said 4 originally.
So by the time Rebecca was being tucked into bed that night, she barely remembered anything at all. She peacefully drifted off to sleep, but soon she'd realize this was only the beginning. Night after night, and Rebecca would take tests and solve puzzles night after night. As these experiences became more routine and as she got older, Rebecca was able to learn more about what was happening to her. First, her playroom.
She was born a crack baby and now is getting the effects of the meth her mother did.
Whatever you'd call it, is on a base on the moon. From her window, she could see a sprawling complex of buildings built into the familiar white cratered landscape. And eventually, Rebecca realized the strangers weren't human. She was being abducted by aliens of many different races. She saw mantids who resembled large praying mantises. She mostly saw aliens that we would call Greys. During one of her sessions, the Greys activated Rebecca's psychic abilities. All humans have this gift, but very few of us have access to it. The puzzles and tests Rebecca had been taking over the years were actually a psychic training program to teach Rebecca how to access and control her psychic abilities. Once Rebecca became skilled in telepathy, she was forced to telepathically interface with beings who were being held captive on the base. Some of the beings looked human, others didn't, but she was able to feel that they were all sentient and aware of what was happening to them, and she could sense they were all terrified. Through the telepathic interface, Rebecca extracted DNA samples. For what purpose, she didn't know, and she didn't ask. After 4 years of intense training, Rebecca was summoned to a meeting. She saw mantids and Greys, but she also saw men dressed in military uniforms. They sat her down and said, "Rebecca, your
How old is she at this point?
8.
training is over. You're ready." Rebecca asked, "Ready for what?" They finally told her why she'd been visiting the moon base for the last 4 years, and why she was taken from her family, why she had to interface with alien species, and why she was taught to develop her psychic powers. They said, "Rebecca, you're joining the Dark Fleet."
The Dark Fleet?
What the fuck did that fish just do? He goes, what the fuck is this? What is he talking about?
I don't know. This went from like some facts based on the, solar system
James Webb telescope.
To now a girl being abducted by aliens to fight for the Black Fleet.
After her training, 9-year-old Rebecca Rose was taken from her home for the last time. She was brought to the Great Lakes Naval Station and put through trauma-based mind control programming. This was done using techniques perfected in the CIA's MK Ultra project. Next, she's strapped to a seat and sent through a jump gate. Jump gates are portals that can transport people and objects across huge distances instantly.
Right. Okay.
Rebecca would now begin her 20-year mission, and so she jumped.
So 9 to 29.
How the fuck?
What?
No,
How the
I'm
fuck
just like,
what?
how the fuck? Like,
Where'd this story even come from? Like
Yeah.
who?
For the next few years, Rebecca spent most of her time on air patrol. The Mars Defense Force used retrofitted helicopters to protect the area around the Darkfleet base on Mars.
What?
Protect the base from what?
Indigenous Martian life, like the mantids and reptilians.
Lizard Martians?
Yep. Primary mission was to protect the base, but if she could capture an alien to acquire its technology, that would be even better.
Oh, it's very hard to snatch a lizard Martian. They're crafty.
Well, that may be true, but Rebecca was given cybernetic
I don't know.
enhancements to turn her into
Hold
a
on,
super
let's
soldier.
find it. Rebecca?
Enhancements focused on optimizing physiology, enhancing psychic abilities, increasing durability, and combat effectiveness. She also had advanced armor and weapon systems directly integrated with her body and her cybernetic technology.
This is one tough broad.
She was. Because of her cybernetic systems and enhanced abilities, Rebecca was an extremely valuable asset to the Mars Defense Force. Maybe too valuable.
Wait, what do you mean?
Toward the end of her 20-year tour, Rebecca was sold to the Draconians.
Not the Draco.
20-year.
All right, so I'm finding articles about it, but it's not like anything legit. Like this is like a plot of
So
a.
he's just like repeating a story. He's
Okay.
repeating a story that he heard.
During a fascinating interview with Dr. Michael Stella, Rebecca Rose talked about her experiences while doing a 20-year in a secret space program. 20-year early article, blah, blah, what? But it doesn't. Who is she? Oh, she looks like a crazy person. I'm going to share this one instead.
You were eventually traded off to the Draconians, so that's interesting. So what was it that at some point in your 20 and back service you got traded out and was used by the Draconians? So explain, how did that happen?
Yeah, how did that happen? Well, it was after the long process.
It's the meth. It was the meth. It was not.
No, I want to see what this crazy lady has to say about this.
Highest level of what they were able to do with me. But they sold me to the Draco, who had this was all part of the galactic slave trade, and that was part of what was going on the moon, which I described in the cloning labs and all the experimental programs that had a lot to do with the slave trade, at least at the time. And likewise, the Draco were in control of I call it as Planet X. That's how it came back to my memory. I do make the distinction that I don't think that this was Nibiru. However, it's out just beyond like the Kuiper Belt, that far out, and a very large planet that they had as a place for the coming and going of cargo. And
what the fuck?
We're in control. The Draco were in control of a large portal, like a very powerful portal within that planet, and they my job, as I was owned by them, was just, it wasn't on the surface of the planet, but more protecting a large, huge Draco ship, mothership, in the atmosphere around the planet.
What I
So
missed?
this regular ass human was like chosen to be a police or an enforcer slave.
Yes, because of her psychic abilities when they helped her develop it when she was 8 years old or 4 years old.
So she could interrogate space criminals.
Pilots who would, fly out for our shift and just be.
They're not going to take Navy SEALs or, trained
What's
pilots.
her actual real background?
It's okay. Read her name, Rebecca Rose, practicing psychic and former super soldier. Like
I want to see her fucking white pages or her Facebook.
Making sure the Draco ship was safe and that who was coming and going. And I'm sure that I fought with what I'd call benevolent beings. And
it'd be fucked up if I'm over here making fun of her and everything she said was 100% true and I'm the idiot.
No, you think? Do you think?
No,
what do you think the chances?
I don't think.
All right, out of like 1 in a million chance that she's telling the truth.
No.
Nuts.
And that there's actual fucking weird aliens doing shit.
Weighs upon me. I know I was controlled to do so, but yeah, again, the memories there are mostly of piloting and also being within the main mothership. And
she doesn't have very detailed stories. She's so this guy. This shit is just taking that story. Is that all that's left here?
He's just repeating this crazy lady's story. That's it.
And the Draconians are tall with wings. Another soldier described one.
Without any warning whatsoever,
another soldier?
We were all paralyzed.
There's more than one person that came out?
No one could even talk. I was instantly nauseated, wanting to both throw up and crap all at once. It felt very violating what was unfolding. I didn't get any of it, and even more disturbing, it was all mental. I heard a voice inside of my head, a very loud, deep voice, frightening as hell. Up until that point, all of my telepathic encounters were of a normal exchange. Felt much like the volume and intensity of my own thoughts. This was anything but.
But the biggest reason to fear the Draco is technology. They've mastered advanced holographic technology, psychic manipulation, and portal tech far beyond anything humans have. So Rebecca was sold to the Draco as part of a diplomatic trade package. Basically, take our best soldiers and please don't kill us. Draconians use their advanced technology and psychic powers to dominate worlds through fear and force.
This sounds like bullshit, right?
Yeah, total bullshit. I'm too high to even fucking process and it just all sounds like. It sounds like an L. Ron Hubbard fucking story.
Right?
It legit sounds like Scientology made this up. I don't think I ever watched Battlefield Earth, but I feel like I may have stumbled on it.
It was a horrible movie.
While it was on TV. You flipping through the channels and it's like Battlefield Earth and you're like, oh.
It was
all right,
not.
10 minutes and I'm like, what is this shit? And I love sci-fi, dude. And
yeah, but that's not good
sci-fi, comic book. I'm all about all that shit.
It was not. Battlefield Earth was not entertaining.
He was a horrible author, right? Wasn't he really bad, L. Ron Hubbard?
Yeah, supposedly his books are not even fucking good. He never used an editor and he only made a first draft.
He would print his first draft. That's some cowboy shit.
He only made a first draft.
He would print his first draft. Wednesdays
Thanks
and
for watching
Sundays.
The Dumbfounded Dipshits podcast. Wednesdays, Sundays, 9:30. Yeah.
Wednesdays
Thanks
and
for watching
Sundays.
The Dumbfounded Dipshits podcast. Wednesdays, Sundays.
Later, dipshit.